Hi, this is Brian Bennett for CNET.com, and right now we're taking a first look at the Motorola Moto X. Born from the union between Motorola Mobility and its recent corporate master, Google, a lot of people have been eagerly awaiting this device. But let me make this very clear. The Moto X is not a Nexus phone for developers and tech enthusiasts. Neither is it a Google Play Edition handset for Android purists. Instead, think of the Moto X as a unique collaboration between Motorola and Google to target ordinary smartphone users with nimble performance, a compact and comfortable design, along with some really whiz-bang Android abilities. Motorola says you can expect the Moto X to ship in late August, early September of 2013 for a suggested price of $199.99. It should also hit AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and US Cellular. A T-Mobile version is apparently in the works, but it's not clear if it will be an unsubsidized model or not. If you're expecting the Moto X to have a top-of-the-line laundry list of parts, well, forget about it. Essentially using the same hardware as Motorola's new Droids on Verizon, the X is powered by Motorola's X8 computing system. Unlike the true quad-core processors driving today's mobile hot rods like the HTC One, Samsung Galaxy S4, and LG G2, the X8 system is based on a dual-core 1.7 GHz Snapdragon S4 Pro chip. Still, that doesn't mean the Moto X is slow. Far from it, in fact. Backing up the processor is muscular quad-core Adreno graphics, a healthy 2 GB of RAM, plus 2 additional cores, a natural language processor and one for contextual computing. Running a special Motorola flavor of Android 4.22 Jelly Bean, the Moto X uses these cores to perform some pretty wild tricks. The first is touchless control, meaning that after the X is trained to recognize your voice, it listens out for your command. When you utter the phrase, "Okay Google Now," the phone perks up. Tied into the Google Now Advanced Search tool, you can then ask it to perform a number of tasks such as looking up facts, navigational directions, or simply setting reminders, making appointments, or initiating calls. Another one of the Moto X's tricks is called active display. Instead of having to fire up the phone's screen each time an alert comes through, the display will pulse with notification icons. Touching the icons in the center of the screen tells the X to display more details. Dragging them upwards wakes up the phone and lets you jump directly to the email, text, or social media alert in question. Much of what makes the Moto X really compelling, though, is its design. This is one really well-crafted phone. Trust me, you realize that from the moment you pick it up. It has a sturdy feel with reassuring heft. There's even a little dimple inside the Motorola logo, where you naturally place your index finger. It all adds up to an outrageously comfortable fit in the palm. By default, the Moto X is available in 2 colors, black and white. What's really interesting, though, is that Motorola will provide a Moto Maker website to create Moto X's in a myriad range of custom colors. Customers can even have their handsets stamped with personal engravings for added distinctiveness. Compact and trim enough to fit into tight pants pockets or other cramped locations, the Moto X is about the same dimensions as the LG Nexus 4, yet manages to shoehorn in a larger 4.7-inch 720p OLED screen. It's bright, colorful, and has nice contrast, even when viewed off-angle. Above the display is a 2-megapixel front camera, while below it, well, there are no physical keys at all. You do have virtual buttons for back, home, and recent applications. The back of the Moto X houses its 10-megapixel main camera and LED flash. While this sensor isn't technically as sharp as competing phone cameras, Motorola says its clear pixel technology lets in 75% more light than ordinary handset imaging systems. Motorola also simplified the camera's app interface, both paring down the number of settings and virtual buttons. It also pushed the settings to the left side out of view. Still, there are modes for HDR and panorama. The Moto X's camera is also designed for speed. Twisting the phone in your wrist twice quickly causes the camera app to launch from any application or when the device is asleep. Touch anywhere on the screen to snap a picture, or long press to shoot multiple shots in a row. Sliding your finger up and down zooms in or out, while swiping right to left opens the gallery. You can take stills while recording video too. Still, there are modes for HDR and panorama. Of course, as with any smartphone, there are some drawbacks. For instance, the standard Moto X comes with 16 gigabytes of internal storage. That's not a lot of space considering there's no SD card slot to add more data breathing room. Additionally, while the Moto X uses a respectably sized 2200 milliamp battery, it isn't removable. I'm Brian Bennett for CNET.com, and this has been a first look at the Motorola Moto X.